Yes, yes, yes. Position is that the black woman's disrespect and rebellion against the leadership and authority of the black man is a direct cause of the breakdown in our black family structure. Now, of course, there are many black people who consider those fighting words because as black women, we have never been subject to the kind of examination that our men have been subject to since we have been here. We have been somewhat protected and shielded from any kind of critiquing about our personal behavior, whereas our men have always been up for examination. Um, the book is not an attack on black women. I have never said that all black women do everything that I list in my book. None of us have lived long enough to do everything that I list in the book, but most of us do some of the things that I've listed in my book. And I do say that it is not because of generalizations that we are all victimized by some of the negative patterns of behavior in the book, but the book just represents our collective contribution. This is some of everything that we have done or that we do daily that contributes to the breakup of our relationship, the destruction of our man, and the failure of our children to be able to function. They did not tell us that all of that, being my own person and I'm independent, would lead to separation, loneliness, celibacy, and lesbianism. They didn't tell us that if you give up the man, you're going to take one of these things and it's worse and it will destroy your nation. They didn't give us that information. They made us think that it was some kind of glorified position to brag about the fact that I got my own job, my own credit card, my own car, so I don't need no man. I don't even know how we got that mixed up. Ain't none of that got nothing to do with having being with no man. We have some serious relationship problems that nobody has been able to address us on because everybody wants to pretend that this is not going on. Over 60% of our women are single, widowed, separated, or divorced. They don't have a man. I just came out of Florida and they got a housing complex that the Urban League built, which is a black organization that is for women and children only. They say they don't allow any men in there. I didn't have time to deal with it, but I talked about them real bad. That's the silliest program I've ever heard of. You know the women that had men if they got a bunch of children. They need fathers. They need protection. We hear about the drug problem that we have in our projects across the country. It's one of the major places that we have a drug problem. We talk about the great strength that we have as black women. Well, the welfare department don't rent government apartments to single black men. Those apartments belong to black women who are allowing this to go on in their home. We have not looked at what part of the responsibility do we share. Yes, black men sell a lot of drugs, and a lot of us black women get the money from them drugs and buy some of these fancy clothes we wear, drive around in some of these fancy cars. He is not doing these things alone and without support from us, whether they're good or bad. See, we have a lot of power. We are very strong women. I'm saying that we're using our strength in the wrong direction. We're using it to tear our man down, tear our nation down instead of building it up. Having an education and a job does not necessarily mean you have a successful life. I keep telling black women that to raise a child, they say, well, I provided with food, clothing, and shelter. That's not raising a child, that's maintaining one. To raise a child, you need a parental coalition of a man and a woman. We have sons who, by not having a father in the home, they don't know how to respect women. They take on the black female emotionalism. They become bitchy. They're doubtful. They're indecisive. They can't make a decision. They don't know what to do about being a man because we can't teach them that. We don't have that knowledge. We have daughters who grow up in a home where they don't see any affection, where there's no man there. They go out into the world and try to mate. They don't have no idea how to be no woman to no man, how to function in a house with a man, because they haven't seen it. Most of our children, just like us, get all the information we have about how you be with a mate off television. It's the only medium that shows us anybody being together. Those rules have not worked for us.
People, that was Sister Shahrazad Ali. You heard what that woman said. When a man is not around, the child takes on black women emotional femalism. That's what she said. You heard that woman say something that was very, very, very critical and stood out. What she said, was, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Why don't I see? Can you hear me? Mic check, mic check. I was saying on there that I have nothing. Okay. All right. So what she also said was, hey, what's going on, Freddie? Man, it's been a minute. Merry New Year to you too. Merry New Year to you, brother. What she also said is, they didn't tell us that when we got our own car and our own credit cards. People, you can't tell no other race of woman, I'm gonna give you a car and I'm gonna give you a credit card. Now you don't need a man. There was a lot said in that little 4-minute snip that I'm gonna play again by Sister Shahrazad Ali. So where is this coming from? I appreciate that, my man. So where is this coming from? People, I was talking to my woman and she was telling me something about a post that asked the question as to why individuals are single or not married, and the guy was coming under a lot of criticism. So let me be frank. What's going on, David? Let me tell you, be frank. People, there are two type of mind states: that of a child and that of an adult. People, when you ask a question as to why women are single or why women are not married, you're going to get the childish mind state. You're not going to be able to sit in a room with a bunch of women and ask them why they're single. Ask me how I know. I know this because I got introduced to radio by what we call a cookie cutter situation. They talked about fathers in the black community and then invited me, and I was the only man. The rest was women. All right. And what they was doing was, I didn't see it at the time when I first went in there. They were setting up an emotional battle. People, I don't do emotional. I'm testosterone. There's no version of where a woman is going to outsmart me. Simple fact, I'm logical. I'm logical. And the funny thing that kills me time and 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 time again to infinity as to how is it that an individual can ask you and talk to you and not realize what they're doing. But when they talk and deal with everybody else, they're not like that. I don't understand that. So we're going to talk about this word that's thrown around in the community you guys call black. We're going to talk about the independent woman. So I'm going to start off by saying this. The America, what's going on, Mr. Dawks? America was formed, and in 1776, we declared our independence. Now, people, when you say you're independent, you got to be specific. Okay, so next time y'all hear a dummy say, I'm independent, I'm independent. Next time you hear a dummy say that, let me first, because I said, let me first start saying this. Let me first start off by saying this. Let me first my first. There's no such thing as an independent woman. No such thing. Don't exist, no shape, form, or fashion. It sounds good, nice, cute little riddle, dummy. Now get the hell on. There's no such thing as an independent woman. No such thing. I don't care if you got a company making you $5 billion a year. There's no such thing as an independent woman. Do you know what the word independent means? It means on your own, living on your own esteem from top to bottom. To be independent, you must have your own money. Not your own money, literally. If my name is Chris, in order for me to be independent, I got to have Chris dollars. I can't use United States currency. Once I switch and use someone else's currency, I'm no longer independent. Please let me continue. Mercedes-Benz, billion-dollar automaker. We would all agree. They have the Maybach brand. They have the smart car. They have Mercedes. Billion-dollar automaker. Yep, they're not independent. They still go to Michelin for tires, Bose for radios. Okay, so when we do this thing on independent, I know a lot of individuals out there like, holy smokes, I didn't know that. There's no such thing as independent. The closest company there was only one company that was independent. That was Ford. They owned the mills to make the metal. They owned the wood to make the trees for the rims. And they owned the rubber company to make the tires. Ford was the only car company that was truly, and probably the only company in the world that was ever truly independent. Ford. This is why when they had the bailout for Chrysler and Chevy, Ford didn't need it. Ford is still rolling off of money that they made back in the 50s and 60s. They're very, very proficient. Not as independent, but very, very. And before you be independent, you must be self-sufficient. It comes first. All right? Just like first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth. I got to say all of them because you have a dummy. What about seventh? Because, like I said, sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. Grades, right? You don't just jump to independence. You just don't do it. I don't know. It's amazing to me when I hear a dummy say I'm independent. I just be like, well, there go a dummy. Oh, I got a Benz outside. I got my own house. Yep, but you financed the house, right? Yeah. So you needed your bank, so you're not independent. Okay. Who money did you use? You're not independent. What car are you traveling in? You're traveling in a Benz. That's Benz product. It's not yours. Let me. If I had a Chris car, if you came outside and said, "Dad, what's that? I've never seen that before." Oh, that's a Chris car. I made it. Oh, I use my own money. I grow and eat my own food. I built my own house. I milled the nails that I needed to make. I made the nails. I machined the nails that it took to put the house together. I machined the hammer that I needed to build the house. One thing incorporated into my perspective eliminates me from that word independence. But I know. Here I go again. Here I go. I think I know it all. That big black dude, I don't like him. I'm going to unsubscribe to him. Why did they tell me about him? Because he always bashing. No, I'm always truthing. I'm truthing. So let me give you an example of independence. People in 1776, after getting assistance, welfare from the British, the 13 colonies said, we are no longer receiving assistance from the British, and we're going to declare our own independence. Hence the term Declaration of Independence. Now I need y'all to follow me because it's right there in front of you. But a lot of you guys, you go to court and you allow your child's mom to say, I don't need you. We don't need you. But what she's saying is, while in court, trying to get money from you. We don't need you. I'm independent. I don't need you. Me and my kid don't need you. And you guys, you allow that to get into your psyche and throw you sideways. Welcome to the unpsyche. Welcome to the truth. Welcome to the perspective. And from this point on, when you hear an individual say I'm independent, say you're a dummy is what you are. Say it in your brain, but say it. You're a dummy is what you are. There's no, I got a Chanel purse. I got this. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. Show me one. Oprah is not independent. She's in order for Oprah to get her network to come to you, I got Sling TV. Oprah come to me if I had it. I don't have it, but Oprah come to me by way of Sling TV. So once you start using Sling, your independence out the window. In order for Oprah to be independent, she got to have her Oprah box. Oprah currency, Oprah everything. Okay, I want to be clear on that. Back to what I was saying. So every month or so, when a ship came in, we got rations from the British. And then we declared our independence. And what we told the British was, hey, listen, we're going to do our own thing. It was cool. We don't need y'all no more. We're going to do our own thing. And the British said, no. That's not how this works. You lived off of our rations. This is ours. The 13 colonies belong to us. And the 13 colonies at the time says, no, we don't want to work with y'all no more. Then you heard the story. The British are coming. The British are coming. And then the war broke out. Now, okay. So you heard the story. The British are coming. The British are coming. Boston Tea Party, etc. We got into a fight with the British. Ben Franklin ran back to British. We declare him a traitor because he went back to Britain, etc., etc. But that's how the story goes. We were getting assistance. So if we was getting assistance, aka welfare, the 13 colonies was getting welfare, then that's what it was. We were not independent. At the same time we was receiving assistance from the British, the Indians were teaching us how to make our own quilts, teach us how to build, etc., etc. And then we declare our independence from the British. You cannot just say I'm independent. You got to be more specific. So I'm gonna take a stab at what it is meant when an individual say I'm independent. They're talking about men. I'm independent. I don't need no man. That's what they're talking about. But when I look at all the stats outside of 84% obesity, when I look at the stats, oh yeah, and then number one in a student loan after the age of 42, and the study was done, white male, white male, white female, black female, and the studies was at 42 years old, white male paid off his student loans by age 42. By age 42, the white woman paid hers off. By age 42, the black man paid his down, but 42, the black woman, hers went up. These are the stats. I'm sorry. And I have to know these things because I can't just come on here and say the things that I say with my intellect, and individuals try to invoke some estrogen and try to throw me off. So I speak with stern and firm like a bad germ. Okay. So let me see. Hold on. Give me a second. Obesity, student loans, welfare, out of wedlock kids, uh, job growth, minimum wage jobs. Oh yeah, okay. I'm not understanding with the stats that I got just right off the cuff. I'm not understanding the stats as to why a lot of fathers go to court and be told, "I don't need you. I'm independent. I don't need you. I'm independent. Me and my kids don't need you." I'm confused by that. I am. I'm confused by that. I'm confused by that. Something don't sound right. It don't.
I'd like to certainly thank Dr. Johnson and the National Association of Conscious Black Women for having the courage to invite me here. I think that most of you have heard, read, or seen something about my book around the country. I've been on a national tour for 12 months. And I'm doing the lecture tour to reach a lot of our people who perhaps got the wrong understanding from television. Television shows are designed in a certain way by the producers of those shows to exploit whatever the idea is that's being presented so as to get high ratings. And so they have kind of had me back against the wall. And so I'm doing the lecture tour so that I could go around and perhaps give our people a little relief, because so many things have been taken out of context and it has created a lot of confusion. My position is that the Black woman's disrespect and rebellion against the leadership and the authority of the Black man is a direct cause of the breakdown in our Black family structure. Now, of course, there are many Black people who consider those fighting words, because as Black women, we have never been subject to the kind of examination that our men have been subject to since we have been here. We have been somewhat protected and shielded from any kind of critiquing about our personal behavior, whereas our men have always been up for examination. The book is not an attack on Black women. I have never said that all Black women do everything that I list in my book. None of us have lived long enough to do everything that I list in the book, but most of us do some of the things that I've listed in my book. And I do say that it is not because of generalizations that we are all victimized by some of the negative patterns of behavior in the book, but the book just represents our collective contribution. This is some of everything that we have done or that we do daily that contributes to the breakup of our relationship, the destruction of our man, and the failure of our children to be able to function. They did not tell us that all of that being my own person and I'm independent would lead to separation, loneliness, celibacy, and lesbianism. They didn't tell us that if you give up the man, you're going to take one of these things and it's worse and it will destroy your nation. They didn't give us that information. They made us think that it was some kind of glorified position to brag about the fact that I got my own job, my own credit card, my own car, so I don't need no man. I don't even know how we got that mixed up. Ain't none of that got nothing to do with having being with no man. We have some serious relationship problems that nobody has been able to address us on because everybody wants to pretend that this is not going on. Over 60% of our women are single, widowed, separated, or divorced. They don't have a man. I just came out of Florida and they got a housing complex that the Urban League built, which is a Black organization that is for women and children only. They say they don't allow any men in there. I didn't have time to deal with it, but I talked about them real bad. That's the silliest program I've ever heard of. You know the women that have men if they got a bunch of children. They need fathers. They need protection. We hear about the drug problem that we have in our projects across the country. It's one of the major places that we have a drug problem. We talk about the great strength that we have as Black women. Well, the welfare department don't rent government apartments to single Black men. Those apartments belong to Black women who are allowing this to go on in their home. We have not looked at what part of the responsibility do we share. Yes, Black men sell a lot of drugs, and a lot of us Black women get the money for them drugs and buy some of these fancy clothes we wear. Drive around in some of these fancy cars. He is not doing these things alone and without support from us, whether they are good or bad. See, we have a lot of power. We are very strong women. I'm saying that we're using our strength in the wrong direction. We're using it to tear our man down, tear our nation down instead of building it up. Having an education and a job does not necessarily mean you have a successful life. I keep telling Black women that to raise a child, they say, well, I provided with food, clothing, and shelter. That's not raising a child, that's maintaining one. To raise a child, you need a parental coalition of a man and a woman. We have sons who are, by not having a father in the home, they don't know how to respect women. They take on the Black female emotionalism. They become bitchy, they're doubtful, they're indecisive, they can't make a decision. They don't know what to do about being a man, but we can't teach them that. We don't have that knowledge. We have daughters who grow up in a home where they don't see any affection, where there's no man there. They go out into the world and try to mate. They don't have no idea how to be no woman to no man, how to function in a house with a man, because they haven't seen it.
One of the most dominating things that just jump out to me is when she said Black female feminine emotionalism. You know, so whenever you ask a question about women of color and Caucasian women, I always tell y'all they are the same in body, different in mind. She said black female emotion is black female feminine emotionalism. So feminine emotionalism is not the same across the board amongst women. No, when you're dealing with women of color, she said you're getting a different dose of that. So which is jumped out at me. Another thing that jumped out at me, and this is what I would tell every man, and it's probably the biggest reason why I don't speak to my mom. She said they made us. Who is they? Who is they? They made us feel that having our own car, they made us feel. They. Who is they? Who is they? Who is they? And it's the they is the ones that will always get respect. This is why I will never accept disrespect. I'm not accepting attitude. I'm not. Because I know when they talk to the they, because I asked y'all who is they, nobody said nothing, cool. I'm going to just say, when they talk to they always get respect. They never get attitude at. They never see the ratchet side. They never see that from them. They will never see it. But when it comes to what I've seen with what I've gotten, it will be executed for if I come home 2 minutes late, it will be just thrown. People, I'm sorry, I'm kicking facts. I'm sorry. You might want to unfollow. You might want to just say, I can't listen to this guy. I understand. You may have been referred to me by somebody and said, whoa, I ain't signed up for this. I understand. My man, Mr. Dark said, they meaning white people. She also said, we have serious relationship problems. You can't, every time you talk to these independent individuals about relationship issues, it's never their fault. People, the black community, we seen 2 million man marches. We seen two. I did a show saying, are the women excuse me, are women ever going to have a million man march? And it was like, we're too busy taking care of y'all kids. You cocked your fucking legs open like a nice whore and you took Section 8 sauce. I mean, that's how I answer to that. I mean, you're not going to try to flip it with an insult. You're not going to try to flip it. This is why I tell you, there are two types of attitudes, two types of mind states, childish mind state, an adult. You'll notice that individuals always come back with something that is that of a child, thought process of a child. But she said there are serious problems. She also says something that just made me say, wow, I never heard that before. She said, we talk about this great strength that we have, but we're using it to break down our black men. She said, we talk about this great strength we have. People, let me tell you something about strength. Strength is having the ability to understand change. All right? Change. Strength is knowing when somebody is in your life. Here's what I've learned in relationships. Women like to study the ship on things that they do. They don't understand or want to understand that they got somebody in their life now that loves them and they see things differently than them. You will get pushback. Strength is being able to say, I got you. You need to do this. I got you. Baby, your breath is kicking. I got you. Nothing. Strength is being able to be open-minded. That's what strength is. You are weak-minded if you got something to say about everything. Strength. People, it's the reason why I am still here today. There's a lot of individuals that was with me back in the day. All the thousands, the hundreds of videos that individuals made about me. Where are those people at today? I'm still here. Still have a studio. Ain't nothing changed with me. I got better. Those individuals, they had their moment because they were closed-minded. Strength is being open-minded. It's being open-minded. She also said men were always up for examination. And this happens more so than anything when we go to court. I posted an ad on Craigslist, and in that ad, I said, don't tell me you went to court for custody, but it turned into a character assassination. I also said in that ad, explain to me how you are dealing with somebody that has and is on welfare, living in public housing or living with their mom, and they for some reason can provide better living quarters than you. How is that? Good morning. My name is the. Thanks for reaching out to me. Hold on, y'all. All right. Somebody sent me a text message and it says, hello, are you still available for a job? I just blocked these individuals. Unfreaking believable. Unbelievable. All right. She also said, because once again, individuals will tell you that they're independent. She also told you something about the Urban League that was for women and children only. People over the weekend, there was a report that said in the month of December, 140,000 people lost their job. They were all women. Now, I'm gonna tell you something that you guys don't know. Something that you guys don't know. I'm gonna tell you something that you may say, what? All right. So when you guys in the workforce now, jobs get incentives when they hire minorities, and they get incentives when they hire minority women. Now, every time something is done, something else is undone. For example, I don't know if you guys know it, but a lot of of states had to raise their minimum wage this month. And when they had to raise the minimum wage, all those little incentive programs to hire individuals that was on welfare to work, individuals that minority women, they didn't look as peachy. It was like, if we're going to pay somebody, we need to hire somebody that's going to be a direct impact when this company moving forward. No offense to Shaquita and her three kids. Shaquita and her three kids didn't make the cut. That is the biggest reason why the 140,000 people that lost their job, and they were all women. That's the reason why they lost their job. That's the reason why. The facts, people. 100% pure grade A. Facts. I'm saying that to say, stop mistaking the gifts that you are given with independence. Stop thinking that just because you got a house and you paying $30 a month rent, stop thinking you independent. You ain't. You ain't. You just ain't never heard nobody tell you that. You ain't nothing. Your finances are crippled. You need to humble yourself. Humble yourself. Humble yourself. I'm humble. This is why I don't feel the need to have to drive one of my high-end cars every day. I don't have to wear my jewelry every day. I am humble. I've dated a woman for 8 months. She didn't know I had a BMW and an Audi. Oh, I didn't know you had this. What I was supposed to tell you? Been dating her for 8 months. She didn't even know. That's how I live. Humble yourself. You're nothing. You're trash. Honestly, you're trash. Don't let me go on individuals on welfare in Section 8. And what I don't want to hear is, let me do my damn dance. You got to understand. Do the point. Do the point. You got to understand. People have problems. Knock it the fuck off. Problems was back in the 80s. It is now a come up. It is the thing to do. Have a baby, get on Section 8 and welfare. That's the come up, and then I don't need a man. That is the new state of the community you guys call black. Finding a person that fell on their hard luck and hard times is few and far in between. It's one and then none ever. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Whenever you tell me that the majority of the people that are on Section 8 and welfare the most are a healthy group of people, and the people that are handicapped and crippled are 2 stats below that, stop. 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 It's a come up. It's a come up. I done seen women back in the hood get as soon as their child turn 18, they take them down to welfare and transfer the apartment over to them. I've seen it. I've seen it. It's a hustle. It's a scam. It's a scam. That's why the video, the lady that had a fight with her daughter says, Olivia, you had. My mom had public low-income housing all her until the day she died. You're 20 years old and you had it for 7 months. This is what it is. I've had a woman call into my show that was working in the administrative office in public housing, and she said we evicted people that was behind on their rent 50 cents. I said, how do somebody get evicted behind on their rent 50 cents? Her response, there are women that think that the world is going to give them everything. These same individuals will turn around and tell you they're independent. People, there is no such thing as an independent woman. No such thing. Buying a Prada bag, putting some fake hair on top of your head does not make you independent. It don't. And if you're on welfare, any type of assistance, go suck a damn brick. You are not independent. You're not. It's just like the black community to dumb everything down for justification. Oh, I'm a dumb down in the word independent to justify it. So, allow me. What does independent mean?
Here's the definition of independent: free from outside control, not depending on another's authority.
Oh my God, you couldn't have said it more better. Free from outside control, not dependent on another's authority. And these individuals live in public housing. The public housing authority. Oh God. I'm just barking this off because I want to bash. Is that what yeah. I'm a bash whore. You know, uh, free from outside control, not dependent on another's authority. Oh my God, you couldn't have said it more better. I know individuals like, damn, he was dead on with everything he said, huh? Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's going on, Fox? They're independent of accountability and gainful employment. Holy, let me applaud that man. Very well said. Very well said. Very well said. Wow. 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 Very well said. She also said when these women claim that they're independent, they subject themselves to separation, loneliness, and celibacy. People, the Office of Vital Statistics say that women in our community marry late or never marry at all. I'm always confused with that. If when you're number one and having babies out of wedlock, I'm always confused. Here's where my perspective is with that. People, I can't say I don't like pizza, but I'm eating some dough, chewing on a pepperoni, dipping it in some taking some pepperoni and cheese, wrapping it together, taking a dough, dipping it in some pizza sauce. And then I say I don't like pizza. Let me run that back. I take some pizza dough, I take some pepperoni and some cheese, roll it up, and I take the pizza dough, dip it in some pizza sauce, bite the pepperoni with the cheese, dip the sauce in the. This is good. People, I crack myself up. People, everybody need to hear this, what I'm saying right now. I can't tell you the woman that I was dating, the one that came and knocked on my door. I still respect her. I will never say her name. Do you know how many times that idiot told me she was independent? You know how many times she told me that? You know how many times I had to listen to Atia LaShawn Bradley tell me she don't need me, her child doesn't need me, but all this was said down at the child support office. You know how many times? What I'm saying is, how is it that all these things seem to be conveniently said in the definition don't match the verbal? The action, the physical situation don't match the verbal depiction of the situation. The narrative, I mean, listen, I will sit down here, individuals that follow me on Instagram, I showed a picture of two old men fighting. And what I didn't go, when a man got punched, I didn't go, at the time of the punch, I went, oh, oh shit. I didn't go, oh, get that. And then he punched him. And then there was no commentary behind the punch. My commentary is when the action is happening. When the dude punched him, I'm like, oh shit, he punched him. Oh shit. Oh, yo, oh, he kicked him. Oh shit. I don't go, oh, he's just standing there. Oh, he's standing. Oh, oh, he waving his hand in the air. He waving his hand. He just punched him. Oh, he's just standing there. I don't do that. I don't do that. I know I don't. The commentary goes with the highlight of the action. That's what you hear when you hear individuals screaming, "I'm independent," and it's like you got an account at the welfare office. Yeah, you got an account at the welfare office. How is this even possible? How? But once again, you, and you, yeah, you do. You've allowed, you dated a woman, and you allowed that individual to kick you out of your child's life. Yes, she did. She kicked you out of your child's life, gave you the boot, booted you out of your kid's life, told you she don't need you, we better off without you, all this stuff. What's going on, feel good? I don't need you. All this stuff. People, let me tell you something. I believe the hype too. I believe the hype until I started using my third eye. And I realized as I just read off the definition of independent, I was describing what was going on, and only thing that I was coming up with was dumb. I was like, that's dumb. But they said this. Blah, 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 blah. You know how when something happened and you're telling somebody about it, then it starts sinking in? Yeah. And then I said, I love you. And then she said, I don't care. I want to go sleep outside in the snow. And you're like, and then you realize and you're like, wait a minute. And then the person that you're talking to is reading your facial expression. And you're like, yeah. And I was like, I love you. I love you. I mean, and she was like, I don't care. I want to go outside and sleep in the snow. And you're like, yeah, when she's, yes, yeah. And then the friend be like, well, what did she do? Yeah, so she went and slept out in the snow. Now it's hitting you, the stupidity. People, there are two types of mental intellect: child, adult. If you can't ask somebody that with 5 kids by 5 different dudes, and you can't. Remember, I told y'all, you got 45 seconds. After 45 seconds, animosity or something is going to kick in. This is just how it is. You talking to them. So 5 kids by 5 different dudes. I mean, what's that all about? Niggas ain't it. Niggas ain't it. Yeah, because niggas this and niggas that. Niggas that. I had an individual tell me they were screwing 2 guys. They got to leave me alone so I can go get married. Right. So they just happen to have some type of spell on your coochie. You just wake up in the morning like, how did your dick get in my pussy? I mean, people, this is something you can do. I just know the extent and the signs. I just know the signs. And the thing is, they don't. When it comes to men, when men say something, it's something that goes on in their head when a man says something. It's just something that's triggered, something going on when a man says something. It's just something on. Can go to the store, get treated like a piece of dirt in the store, can go to the store. All these things happen, they'll maintain their composure. When a man say something, it's just instant mad. It's a mad fest. It's a cocktail of mad. That's just the way it is. It's the way it is. Now, self-sufficient. Let's talk about that. 5 minutes. Okay. D Nice is the only time I heard somebody use the word self-sufficient. The song was self-destruction. Came out in 1988. D Nice, his verse said, well, we gotta learn to be self-sufficient, independent. To teach to each is what rap intended. But society wants to invade, so do not fall for this trap that they laid. It's self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. But he said, we gotta learn to be self-sufficient, independent. So, what is self-sufficient? Let's ask the old trusted computer. What is the definition of self-sufficient?
Needing no outside help in satisfying one's basic needs, especially with regard to the production of food.
Okay. I'm going to run that back. What is the definition of self-sufficient?
Here's the definition of self-sufficient: needing no outside help in satisfying one's basic needs, especially with regard to the production of food.
Okay. Needing no outside help. Let us talk about needing no outside help. I just told you earlier that Mercedes-Benz is a billion-dollar automaker. They're not independent. If you go to a Mercedes-Benz dealer and look at the tires, aka shoes, the wheels, the rubber, you'll see either Michelin, Dunlop, or Hankook, Uniroyal, but you won't see Mercedes-Benz. They don't make tires. So what do? They call it outsourcing. Now let me see what this says. Needing no outside help. So outsource means outside. I don't know if you let me allow me. What does outsource mean?
Here's the definition of outsource: obtain goods or a service from an outside or foreign supplier, especially in place of an internal source.
Okay. I'm just hitting on all cylinders this morning. Oh shit. Okay. So Mercedes-Benz, they don't make tires, so they go to an outside source, which instantly, once they do that, it throws them off from the word independent because they're not self-sufficient. Okay. When you go and look inside of a Maxima, the older ones, I don't know what the new ones have now, but you used to see Bose on the radio. Lexus used to do Bose as well. Bose. So what that meant was, that meant at that year, make and model of the car, Lexus proved not to be self-sufficient. People, self-sufficient is not a bad thing. Sometimes self-sufficient is just not. It's not optimal. Optimum, and that is just it's just not smart. It's not smart to I don't know, wash your car when you got a water tank, off-grid water tank connected to a water hose. It's not smart to go wash it, go pay $5, $10 for a car wash. It's just not smart. It's not optimal. Optimum is doing the smartest thing for that situation. All right. So self-sufficient means you don't need no help from the outside source. Okay? All right. So if I have an apartment, but I'm part of some authority, then that doesn't fare well. If I'm getting around with a Mercedes Benz, I damn sure didn't make a Mercedes. I'm using an outside source. When you're self-sufficient, you don't need an outside source. It's just amazing because I want to just just say this. This doesn't happen in no other communities. In no other communities, we don't do what's done in the black community. We don't promote our lower class. In other communities, the men that can't carry their own weight don't get no pussy. In our community, there's 50 million reasons as to why a no good nigga becomes a father. It's 50 million reasons. And dig this. A no good nigga will become a father, but the second they have a problem, they crack the screen on their cell phone. They know they're not taking it to a plumber. They know they're not taking it to a mechanic. They take it right to that company that fix scratch. So you know how to take that. But in the black community, so many no good situations. I'm talking about men in particular right now. So many no good situations get promoted to do things that good men should do. It is amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. But what happens is what we allow to happen and what I've done in the past, I don't do it anymore. I don't allow nothing stupid to get past me. I attack stupidity. I do. How dare you be so dumb? I'm laughing at something else, man. How dare you be so dumb? You know, I don't know nobody that wiped their butt, didn't take the dump. Yeah, I don't know nobody to do that. But I don't. I know, after you take the dump, then you wipe. Dump, wipe. You know, I don't know nobody to just sit on a toilet without removing their underwear. They actually remove their. I don't know nobody to just take their pants off, sit on the toilet, and drop a load in their underwear. Tell me something. I just got to use more toilet tissue. No, that just don't work. I just don't know that to happen, man. I've never seen this before. Oh my god! I just never. I never. I promise you, I've never seen this before. I just never. I never. The things that go on in this community, you guys call black, man. I'm a bit confused. I'm confused. I'm like, I'm walking around. I got the heavy head. I got the bobblehead. I'm here with it. I just don't understand. Um, but listen, um, I really appreciate you guys yearning for this learning. I feel good by the fact that when you guys come here, I'm a great teacher. That's what I do. My philosophy and my analogies. I'm a great teacher whore, and I always appreciate you guys for being here, man. I want to give a shout out to my man Deshaun. He wasn't here this morning. Deshaun is the first member of my exclusive content club, the ECC. Deshaun gave a contribution to my Cash App of $25 or more, and I've sent him exclusive videos. So, Deshaun, wherever you are at I always appreciate you, man, and I also appreciate you guys too. Freddie, man, drop in on me, man, more often, man. Say something anyway, man. Stop fucking with me. Stop being a fucking with me, or stop doing that. Don't be a fucking with me, or Freddie. So I do appreciate y'all. I got a little workout I'm gonna do, then I'm gonna boogie on out of here. Head on over to the studio. I got some things to do over there, and I will definitely catch you guys on the next one. All right, tonight at 9. Be here or be square. I'm just saying square because I'm trying to get it to rhyme. Later, y'all. Have a good one.